So I was going through my videos on my channel and I realized that I haven't actually done a season 4 review of Clone Wars. I did 1 through 3 and then 5, 6, 7. Um but yeah, I accidentally forgot season 4, so it's got to go back and make this, and I think I'll do a little bit of a quicker review because I have some other videos I want to make tonight. But season 4 starts off with an arc that is good, but it's certainly not one of my favorites. It's basically about a civil war on the planet of Mon Cala, which is home of the Mon Calamari and the Quarren, and it features like Admiral Akbar and Kit Fisto, Anakin's there, Ahsoka is there. The best part of this arc would be Kit Fisto. I really enjoyed him. The problem I have with this arc is the main protagonist of Prince Lee Char is just really underwhelming, and it kind of does that thing that happens with a lot of bad female characters where they just tell you that he's likable slash she's likable rather than just showing it and getting the audience to believe it themselves. So this whole arc is oh, he's the key to everything. He's the best, but he's just kind of like a chump, The villain, however, is a very cool villain. It's a Shark Man. He's right here. I will just search it up for you so you can see. This was a very cool villain and a cool species. But yeah, good arc, but it's certainly not a favorite of mine. Then we got a one-off, which is underrated, mainly because I think Jar Jar's in it. And all the Jar Jar episodes are nerfed in terms of their ratings, but this is a very good episode. It's not a 7.1. And yeah, Jar Jar is a bit annoying, but can't we just laugh at this point? It's better to laugh than to cry, Just laugh, it's fine. He's just an annoying character. But he's kind of funny too. So yeah, this is a cool episode where the Separatists are trying to invade Naboo again, and essentially what happens is they try to court the new Gungan leader, and that's foiled, and the Gungans turn against the Separatists. General Grievous is captured, but then Anakin is captured by Count Dooku, and they make a prisoner trade. Very good episode. I enjoy watching that one. This is one of the droid episodes that I've mentioned in my other reviews that I always skip. These are really not very good. They're very boring and very childish. The great thing about Clone Wars is it's quite a mature show for an animated kids show, But this one is definitely quite kiddie. Also, it's just kind of annoying. But yeah, it's alright. It's not as bad as the other droid episode from season 2, I think. And it's not as bad as the Martez sisters arc, but it's pretty low end. Then we got one of people's favorites, one of my favorites, the Umbara arc. The Umbara arc is it's peak Clone Wars. It's what everybody really loves about this show, and it sticks to the original sort of ethos of the show of showing new planets, showing new battles, showing the war going across the galaxy. And this one focuses on a very cool character named Pong Krell, who is a Jedi Master who's turned to the dark side. And over the 4 episodes, we have a very compelling villain in him, and he basically pushes your limit to what you think a Jedi is capable of doing wrong before you finally are oh wait, no, he's not a Jedi actually anymore. He's actually a really evil person. And it turns out yeah, he's not a Jedi. He's turned to the dark side. And it's just awesome, and there's very powerful scenes, and particularly the last episode. where Krell basically tricks the clones from two different battalions to accidentally kill each other, and this leads to his execution, and it's very cool. And he's also just a really cool design Jedi. He's one of these I forget the name of this type of species. Let me see. Basilisk. Same as Dexter Jetster, this guy from episode 2. They basically have 4 arms, and he's pretty awesome because he uses 2 double bladeds, and he's basically like a tank. And he would be a really cool Sith, kind of like Darth Maul, but even more overpowered. He's just like a brute who's quite powerful and deadly. Then right after this, we have another one of my favorite arcs. It's the slavery arc. And this is an awesome arc because it's very entertaining, but it's also got some great moments for Anakin. It's got like him rizzing up the Queen of Zygeria, that's kind of like Egypt or something. It's a slave empire. And they have to rescue these abducted people that have been sold into slavery by the Separatists. And it's also kind of this interesting thing that happens with the queen of the slave planet. She like essentially captures these Jedis, Obi-Wan and Anakin and Ahsoka, and like her plan is to turn them into slaves and like make them her servants. But like Dooku shows up and he's like, your powers over them are an illusion, and like you can never enslave a Jedi. And my goal is not the enslavement of the Jedi, but their eradication. And he orders her to kill them, and she reacts very hostile. And he force chokes her, and like she dies in Anakin's arms. And she's like, "You were right. I am a slave, just as you are." Because her duty to Dooku and Anakin's duty to the Jedi is a form of slavery, you could say. But it was a very good arc. I liked all the characters. I liked the Queen. What was her name? Queen of Zygeria. I don't know if it actually says her name in this, but that's her name. And yeah, next episode, another one-off. This is a very good episode. It's basically another Lux Bonteri continuing Ahsoka's little romantic tension with Lux Bonteri, and this time Lux is trying to avenge his mother's death, and he teams up with the Death Watch, but they turn out to be what they are, which is Mandalorian terrorists, and it all goes wrong. That's enough said for that one. Okay, the next one is one of my favorite arcs, once more. This is about Obi-Wan faking his death to sort of join this team of bounty hunters that are trying to kidnap Chancellor Palpatine with Count Dooku. Sort of what happens at the beginning of episode 3, but this was them attempting it ahead of time. But yeah, essentially the best part of this arc is it really helps develop Anakin's character in terms of yet another reason why he doesn't trust the Jedi Council. Essentially, they do this plan behind his back, and they kind of use his reaction to Obi-Wan's death as like selling it, like to make it more believable. And obviously Anakin is attached to Obi-Wan and thinks of him as like his father / his brother and like best friend. So this like very much like traumatizes Anakin, and he's like really wants to like kill the guy that did it. And he eventually finds out that Obi-Wan's alive, and this creates lots of like anger and distrust both towards the council and to Obi-Wan that they did this without like telling him. Anakin once again proves he is the most human of the Jedi. Despite his flaws, he's the most human. And yeah, it has a great ending too where they foil the plan. This episode is really good. I've rewatched this one so many times. Like ever since I was a kid, like I would rewatch this a lot. It's very cool. And yeah, one of my favorite arcs. Great. Then so this is kind of like one arc, but I don't really consider it one arc. I would consider this an arc, and then these two are kind of standalones or loosely together. So essentially, Asajj comes back to Dathomir after getting beaten by Dooku and Savage, and at this point, Dooku's spies inform him that like she's returned to Dathomir. So Dooku exacts his revenge and wipes them out. And it's one of my favorite episodes, once again. This episode, I don't know why it's rated higher than this one. It's very good, but it's not better than this. This is like a nice standalone episode where Asajj like has a mini redemption arc where she does this bounty with like Boba Fett and a few other bounty hunters, from the rest of the series and the movies too. It's a very cool planet that's very unique. It's like a pressurized atmosphere, so you can't go in with ships. You have to go through this tube from space. But essentially, they're like guarding this cargo on a train to deliver it to the lord of the planet. But like, it turns out that they get attacked by this group and the chest is open and it turns out it's this young girl. And they're all surprised, but like Boba's like, we just gotta finish the mission. And Asajj talks to the girl and she's like, you have no idea what it feels like to be ripped from your family. And like, Asajj is like, if only I didn't. And it's kind of referencing like the fact that she didn't have a family. Then she had this Jedi master that was her kind of like her father, and then like he was killed, and then she turned to the dark side, and then Dooku became like her father, and then Dooku betrayed her, and then she goes back to her planet of the witches, and then all the witches are wiped out and she's got nobody. She's all alone, and she basically says like, yeah, if only I didn't. Like, no, I've lost everything too. And you don't know what Asajj is gonna do, but the final part of the episode is like she drops off the cargo, gets the money, but it turns out she put Boba in the box, and she freed the girl and took a bounty from them too. So it shows that like she's becoming a better person, but I also like that she takes the money. Like she's still self-interested person. She's just like trying not to be, an evil person. Sort of like doing the right thing, but on her terms. And I like that. And then, I love this ending. One of the best arcs, once again, the finding of Darth Maul on the planet of Lotho Minor. And then sort of Maul re-entering the fray of the galaxy by, broadcasting to the Jedi Council that I'm alive and I have these people hostage, and then he executes them on hologram, and this causes the Jedi to send Obi-Wan. And, yeah, it's a really good arc because Asajj is following the bounty, and then Asajj and Obi-Wan work together. And yeah, they beat they don't beat Darth Maul, but they escape with their lives. And yeah, it's a very, very cool episode and a great season of the Clone Wars. I just wanted to make sure I got all seasons in there. But yeah, thank you for watching my Clone Wars review. I enjoyed watching the show once again, and I enjoyed making these videos for you. So, Sussy Boy out.